KSL News starts now.
It is a sight not often seen. The Las Vegas Strip completely stripped of light. The infamous street went dark overnight to honor the 59 victims killed and the more than 500 injured in Sunday night's deadly attack.
It is a somber morning throughout Sin City and the United States today. Once again, we're talking about a mass shooting that has left dozens dead, hundreds wounded, the deadliest mass shooting in modern American history.
We have team coverage this morning on this tragedy that has touched so many people, including those right here in Utah. Caitlin Burchell live in Las Vegas for us, where thousands trying to heal after witnessing a horrific scene in their city. Sheriff Park following the latest developments as well on an investigation that's now captured headlines all around the world. And Shara, we'll begin with you.
All right, Andrew and Lori, a lot of developing information coming in overnight, so let's give you the very latest. 59 people are dead, 527 are injured. The gunman, 64-year-old Stephen Paddock, dead from a self-inflicted gunshot, was a retired accountant with no known criminal record. Investigators uncovered 23 guns from his hotel room, as well as 19 more weapons at his home in Mesquite. And right now, the question still stands, what led Paddock to shoot from the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Resort into that crowd of some 22,000 concertgoers? That's what many are waiting to hear from investigators at this point. Also, we've just received new surveillance video of Stephen Paddock in Las Vegas in 2011. What happened in that video led to a lawsuit. We'll play that video for you coming up in about 15 minutes. Andrew?
All right, Shara, thanks from the Breaking News Center. Meantime, this morning we're learning more about the victims of the mass shooting. At least 2 people with Utah ties were killed, and a Dixie State University student was injured. Among the dead were Brighton High School graduate Nisha Tonks and 28-year-old Cameron Robinson from St. George. Tonks lived in Nevada now and had worked for a computer software company at the time of her death, but she spent most of her life here in Utah. She leaves behind 3 sons. So hard to think about what they're going through right now. Also, Robinson lived in St. George but commuted to Las Vegas for work as a legal records specialist. He was also at the concert when he was shot. A vigil for the victims was held last night at Dixie State University, where a school spokesman confirmed 1 student was injured in the festival. However, that student's name has not yet been released.
And this morning, several Utahns who were at the Las Vegas concert, they are now back home safe, as so many people don't have that opportunity. They are not home safe. But those who did get home, they're talking to us about what they witnessed firsthand in this chaos. And Haley Howes and Isaac Schillig were in the crowd of thousands when they first heard these shots ring out.
I didn't know, if we were going to be shot, what it would feel like. We were all just running for our lives.
People just started diving to the ground, and then you knew, hey, something's going on.
Well, the 2 called a nearby friend to come pick them up before finally landing back home in Salt Lake City last night. We're glad they're safe.
I want to continue our team coverage now from a quieter than normal Las Vegas Strip with news specialist Caitlin Burchell.
Yeah, she's live there at the media staging area, less than a block away from where the shooting happened. And Caitlin, you've been there for 24 hours now. Explain to us kind of the mood in Las Vegas.
Good morning, Andrew and Lori. It is an absolutely somber mood here in Las Vegas. It's quieter. There's not people on the streets and the Strip as much as they would be before this had happened. Now, you can see behind me, we're about a block south of the Las Vegas Strip. The crime scene right behind me where that festival happened, where Jason Aldean was singing when the shooter began shooting down at the victims here, and this was at Mandalay Bay. You can see that right behind how close that vicinity is overlooking the festival. Well, yesterday we spoke to many of the concert goers who couldn't say anything nicer about the first responders who risked their lives to save others. And we spoke to one of those first responders yesterday, a community ambulance worker, and he said when he arrived on scene, it was quote unquote absolutely horrifying. He said the first thing he heard was people screaming for him to help them. Now, he said he saw immediately 20 to 30 victims who had been shot, and he had to go into triage mode. He had to decide who he would transport to the hospital first, and those he took were those were shot in the head and the chest.
It was mass hysteria. I had to kind of sit back, take a deep breath, and take control of the scene and just to calm people down, to let people know it's going to be okay, that we're gonna get this guy, we're gonna get you help, we're gonna make sure that we get through this together, as a city.
Now, Julian Ness there said there is no training that can prepare you for this. He said he really has no words. This is the city he loves, and it breaks his heart to see it in mourning right now. But we did just speak to another first responder who said, though, it is like a switch for him and his coworkers. They just do their job, and it's what they're supposed to do. And he recommends to all first responders everywhere to make sure you have a plan. You might not mentally be prepared for it, but make sure you're ready. Backup A, B, and C, he says. Back to you.
Tough to think that in this day and age that you almost have to do that when you go out in a large public gathering spot. That's what we have to do now. That's the new reality. Our thanks to Caitlin. We'll check back in with you throughout the morning. And stay with KSL TV Radio, KSL.com, and Deseret News for continuing coverage throughout the morning on the very latest coming out of Las Vegas. And for more coverage, you can use your KSL TV app and click on the Las Vegas shooting icon for updates. Let's go to check out the weather and traffic this morning.